Call the board of the Wilson County Commission meeting, July the 21st, 2025 to order. Welcome all of our guests here tonight. Thank you for being a part, and come back anytime you have the opportunity to, please. This time I'll introduce Commissioner Bowman for our prayer and pledge.
Good evening, commissioners and guests. Tonight I've invited my friend and pastor, Phil Wilson, to come up and lead us in our prayer. And my youngest son, Dylan Bowman, is going to be leading us in the pledge.
Please rise.
Phil is the pastor of the Bridge Fellowship, and he started it in 2005, so 20 years here in Lebanon.
Wasn't sure while I was even coming. I thought I was at a place where they were going to approve our plans for our building that we're trying to build. I thought that's why I was here. I didn't know. Yeah. So many people, can we take an offering or something? We can take an offering right now. Let's pray together. God, thank you tonight for everybody that's here. Thank you for citizens that make up our county and for every household that is represented. For every boy, for every girl, Lord, we are reminded of the high calling, Lord. First of all, Lord, just think about teachers that go back to school, and we'll start school next week. God, would you bless them? Would you honor them for the sacrificial work they do? And God, for all of our government officials, God, we understand that you are the one who has ordained order. And so we ask for that. And so, Lord, I pray that we would be orderly in what we do, what we say. And God, would you give this group wisdom? And Lord, we thank you for every family that's here. I pray, God, that we would honor you in all that we say and all that we do. In Jesus' name that we pray, and everybody says,
Amen. You'll please address the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both. And Pastor, if you want us to, we'll take a vote right quick on you building that church. All in favor, say aye. Aye. So we passed it. I don't know if it makes any difference or not. Please press yes on your panel to record your presence at tonight's meeting. Will.
Chandler.
Commissioner, who's here? Commissioner Chandler. 25-0. Praise the Lord. All righty. This time we'll have public comment period. This public comment period is just for the county commission meeting. Is not about the rezoning. People that are going to be on the rezoning will speak at a later time tonight. So those that want to just have public comment period would be at this time speaking. I have no clue why I'm on the screen. I shouldn't be.
You're on the screen because you're the man, Mayor.
I'm not the man.
Jack Pratt, Tucker's Crossroads Community. Just wanted to have a couple things. First off, I know y'all have probably seen some T-shirts on your desk there. Those are provided by Phil Neal over here. We're having a 50th anniversary of the Tucker's Crossroads Ballpark. We're having a celebration on September the 20th. The gates will open at 3 p.m. There'll be all kinds of kids' activities and food. Hamburgers and fries and Coca-Colas. And then we're going to have a quick program at 6 p.m. that night. 50 years of a great ballpark, great community out there at Tucker's Crossroads. We invite you all to come. We'd love to have you all and celebrate part of our community that we're really proud of. Also, just a quick little fact about a few things. I know you all are getting ready to hear a bunch of intangible facts that you always hear when things come up. But speaking on agriculture, couple of intangible facts I'll throw out at you. In 2021, according to the University of Tennessee Institute of Agriculture, Wilson County agricultural output totaled $942.8 million. The total economic impact was over $1.1 billion that year to the county's economic impact. That's for every dollar of direct agricultural output, the total impact to the county's economic development was $1.26 for every $1.26 for a dollar of return there. I think that's a pretty good intangible fact. The other thing, if you're looking for tangible facts, is Wilson County currently ranks 3rd in Tennessee for farm to table agriculture. And if you want a taste of that tangible fact, it's right there, but you might want to have you a napkin or something ready, Commissioner Kurtz, because it gets a little juicy on your chin. Thank y'all for the job you do and appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Anyone else wanting to speak during comment period time, public comment time? Yeah. State your name and address for the record, please.
I'm Ken Young, 1221 Shop Springs Road. You should all have one of these. Your $58 million bond bought a school with no sewer system. How did this happen? In 2014, the Academy Road Sewage Treatment Facility opened. It's a step system located 1.5 miles north of the school. It serves 293 subdivision homes, including Heritage Highlands 4. Records show that the facility soils have been oversaturated since 2018. On December 16, 2020, the Water Authority's Executive Director, Chris Lieber, signed the final plan for Heritage Highlands. His signature certified he had obtained a state sewage permit for the building lots, 44 sold. Then he attached them to the already saturated soils at Academy. I can't find the operating permit, and neither can the office that issues them. 10 days ago, the state cited Lieber for providing false information because they can't find it either. The school breaks ground in 2023 and proves to have many acres of excellent soils. Its step system's original design is to be self-contained within school property. Then something very mysterious happened. Only 2 months before school starts, without telling the school director, the school board, the school civil engineer and architect, the Water Authority radically changed the design. Now their scheme is to pump school effluent up and back a 3-mile round trip to the previously mentioned Academy facility, the one Mr. Lieber knows has failing soils. Why and when did he change the plan? Why didn't he tell anyone? What does this cost the taxpayer? Does the change benefit the school in any way? At the last Water Authority board meeting, I asked, when was the change made? Who did it? Dead silence. The school board met a week ago. The authority did not attend, yet expected the school board to blindly sign a contract authorizing the radical change. And thank God Mr. Jennings advised against it. The state won't issue a permit for this scheme, so the taxpayer through the school must pay to pump and haul the waste. Why did this all happen? Water Authority leadership proved again they cannot be trusted. This is the problem I've warned about right here in this room for the last 1.5 years. Think back on how many records I've shared with you documenting their malfeasance. They act as if they are accountable to no one, but that is not true. You have responsibility for oversight. You decide who does or does not sit on the utility board. Exercise your oversight. It is your duty. Vote next month to recall the chairman of the Water Authority. I will take any question.
Thank you. Your time is up. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else for public comment? Seeing none, we'll close public comment period. We'll move on to report from the steering committee. Commissioner Fields.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the steering committee met tonight in the conference room upstairs at 6:44. The minutes of that meeting will be in next month's packet.
Adoption of the agenda. Commissioner Fields.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, everyone has a copy of the agenda. I move that it be adopted and approved.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consent agenda. Commissioner
Yes,
Fields.
Mr. Mayor, we do have a consent agenda. We have two resolutions. That 25-7-2, it establishes a speed limit on Royal Drive at 25 miles an hour. And then 25-7-3, it's, skip one, I'm sorry. 25-7-1 establishes a speed limit on Division Street at 35 miles an hour. I move that they be approved.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you, sir. This time, Commissioner Marlowe will be up for special recognition.
If I could, I'd like for Nikolai and Mackenzie and their coach. Please come up here with me, please. If you're here. Not here. They said that's been bigger. We'll put this off till another time.
Okay.
Okay. If, is there anyone here that represents the Kiwanis Club?
Mr. Callis?
Come on up, sir.
Mr. Eddie Callis has done this for, I'm not for sure how many years, from the very beginning. Yep.
We'll have a resolution tonight with the Board of County Commissioners, a day of prayer for our school in Wilson County. Whereas a day of prayer for our schools was conceived by members of the Kiwanis Club of Lebanon, Tennessee during the summer of 1999 after the murder of several students and a teacher at Columbine High School. The tragedy which caused Americans across the nation to become concerned for the safety of their children at school. Sadly, this was not the last example of violence at an American school. The first observance of a day of prayer for our schools was sponsored by the Kiwanis Club of Lebanon on August 14th, 1999. And this project has been repeated each year since then with the 26th annual observance of a day of prayer for our schools to be held July 27th, 2025. The Kiwanis Clubs of both Lebanon and Mount Juliet have joined together to sponsor this community-wide project. This project seeks to unite the entire community in prayer for the safety of our children by encouraging our churches and places of worship to dedicate a portion of their worship service that day to special prayer seeking God's help in keeping our children safe at our schools. The first two objects of Kiwanis are to give primarily to the human and spiritual rather than the material values of life, and to promote the daily living of the Golden Rule in all our human relations. With no greater blessing from God than the gift of our children, Kiwanis members believe that the safety of our children at school should be a very high priority, and they are requesting the entire community to join in this effort. Kiwanis also believes that the solutions to many of the problems existing in our society are spiritual in nature rather than political. And new laws and more metal detectors in our schools will not change the way people treat each other. Whereas members of the Kiwanis Club believe that there is no better thing than prayer to seek and safe school environment for our children, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, that is furtherance of the efforts of the members of the Kiwanis Club of Lebanon and Mount Juliet, Wilson County, Tennessee, we hereby designate July 27th, 2025 as a day of prayer for our schools.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank you, sir, and have a copy for you, and would you please?
I would love to. Thank you, members of the County Commission, for allowing me to be here tonight and to accept this resolution. I'll tell you just a little story. A few weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks after that terrible thing that happened in Littleton, Colorado, I was driving down West Main Street, and it occurred, I was thinking about those people out there in Colorado, those families that had suffered indescribable loss. And I said, wouldn't it be great if this Sunday, every church in America, everybody in America paused and got on their knees and prayed and asked God to keep our children safe. Well, Sunday was just 2 or 3 days away, so nothing like that happened. But before the summer was gone, my Kiwanis Club, the Kiwanis Club 11, decided to take on a day of prayer for our schools. And so I think this is the 26th year we've done it. We don't think there's anything better that any of us can do than to ask God to keep our children, our teachers, our schools, all the people involved with them safe as a new school year begins just next week. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. This time we'll have a public hearing tonight for rezoning for a request. We'll do this tonight a little bit different than we do normal. We will go out of session in just a second. I asked Mr. Lawless to come up and talk about the first one to be done, which is at 6:45. Council Pike, I believe, is the right one on that one. Then we'll go back into session and let you vote on that one. Then we'll go back out of session and hear the other one that's here tonight, which has probably more conversation. That way you have an immediate look at each one of those and nothing gets lost in between. So when I asked for just a minute for our people to come and speak on this, the time limit is 3 minutes. I'll call one right after the other. We ask you to be respectful. You're talking to the commission. Try not to repeat what somebody else has said so they can hear every bit of the news that we need to hear about your desire about where you want this property to go one way or the other. This time I'll take a motion to go out of session. And a second. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. And Christopher, I'll turn it over to you to start with.
Ready?
45.
Okay. A public hearing will be held before the Wilson County Commission on Monday, July 21st, 2025 at 7 p.m. or thereafter. At 228 East Main Street, Lebanon, Tennessee. Items for consideration: the application made by Old Acre McDonald LLC to amend the Couchville Pike Commercial Master Plan to modify the rear setback requirements for proposed site plan Couchville Crossings to allow the canopy of the fuel station to meet the setback requirements. The property contains 6.24 acres. It's being referenced as Wilson County Tax Map 138, parcels 39.06 and 39.12. Copies of this request have been on file at the Wilson County Planning Office and have been available for oversight during regular business hours. Anyone desired to comment is requested to attend.
Anyone at this time here to speak on the 645 Couchville Pike property, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Mike Hunkler. I'm a civil engineer with Gresham Smith. Address 222 2nd Avenue South, Nashville. I represent the developer and the civil engineer. No questions, anything, just here to answer any comments or concerns.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak on this property? Seeing I hear a motion to go back into session. A second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Christopher?
All right, again, to the commissioners, the application has been made by Old Acre McDonald LLC to amend the Couchville Pike Commercial Master Plan to modify the rear setbacks of this master plan. This is to allow the proposed canopy that was in the Couchville Crossing site plan to meet setbacks for that district as they need to be fitted. Again, this is 6.24 acres and is Wilson County Tax Map 138, parcels 39.06 and 39.12. This master plan request was presented to the Wilson County Planning Commission on Friday, June 20th, and is being forwarded to the Wilson County Commission with a positive recommendation.
Commissioner Hobbs, I'm going to go to you. I believe it's in your district.
Go with planning commission's recommendation on that.
Positive motion then?
Positive motion.
Do I hear a second? Second. Any discussion? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. No. Any opposed? Let the record reflect it was unanimous. We'll move on to the next one now. Need a motion to go back out of session. All in favor say aye. Yeah. Christopher?
All right, bear with me. This one is got a few more parcels involved. A public hearing will be held at the Wilson County Commission on Monday, July 21st, 2025 at 7 p.m. or thereafter, located at 228 East Main Street. The applicant by First Industrial Realty Trust with permission from property owners Brenda Garvin, Mary Orange, Julie Kirby, Richard Bible, David and Karen Thomas, Darren and Brenda Dixon, and Anthony Bible, George Lanham and W.D. Lanham, Gary Whitaker, Matthew Whitaker, and the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Blah. I was getting there. Requesting a land use plan amendment from low density, low intensity residential area to medium to high density, high intensity commercial uses and rezoning the same property from R1 residential to C4 planned commercial. The properties are located at 1113 Couchville Pike, map 138, parcels 39. Approximately 34.89 acres, 3461 Underwood Road, map 138, parcel 39.03, approximately 9.98 acres, 3522 Underwood Road, 138, parcel 8.06, contains approximately 4.94 acres, 3600 Underwood Road, map 138, parcel 8.07, containing approximately 5.14 acres, 3662 Underwood Road, map 138, parcel 8.08, contains approximately 5.12 acres. 3556 Underwood Road, map 138, parcel 8.10, containing approximately 5.26 acres. An unaddressed property on Maddox Road, being map 138, parcel 41, containing 0.96 acres. 1116 Couchville Pike, map 138, parcels 44, containing approximately 4.82 acres. Unaddressed property, Couchville Pike, map 138, parcel 45, containing approximately 1.6 acres. And a copy of this request has been on file with the Wilson County Planning Office and has been available to view during regular business hours. Anyone desired to comment is requested to attend.
This time I'll ask Mr. Jason Jackson to come forward.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor Hoto, commissioners, and residents of Wilson County. Thank you for the opportunity to speak about First Park 840. First Industrial has been in Nashville for over 30 years. We've invested over $300 million in Wilson County with our Schneider Electric 1 and 2 projects, Chewy, and consumer product partners. This same commitment brings us here tonight. From our first conversations with public officials to our public outreach, one message came through clearly: address the flooding. That has been, that has shaped our design through this whole project. You will hear more from the engineers later, but essentially, we're fixing the sinkholes. We're improving them. We're putting in a filter system. We're designing to a 100-year flood instead of the 25. Excuse me. The benefit not only benefits this area, but downstream at Macquarie. This is a $6 million investment. Beyond the stormwater, we're improving the roads on Couchville Pike and Underwood at a cost of almost $1 million. No truck access is allowed, or auto access is allowed on Underwood or Lone Oak. We have a comprehensive safety plan meeting or exceeding all state and federal regulations. We're having a 20-foot buffer that is more than double what the county currently requires. Before I close, I'd like to draw your attention. You should have 2 packets of information on your desk. One is a summary of answers of the common questions, and one is a detailed information packet with supporting materials. As you hear from both supporters and opponents tonight, I respectfully ask you consider, if not this plan, what is the realistic solution for flooding in this area? Shouldn't zoning reflect the investments the county has made on 840, Couchville Pike realignment, and the infrastructure improvements in this corridor? Thank you for your time and consideration and the opportunity to continue our partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Boyd. I think I've said it, but just to be on the safe side, you have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening, Commissioners. Mark Boyd, with Kinley Horn. I'm a senior engineer in our Nashville office, and I have over 20 years of experience in developing projects like this, industrial projects, in various municipalities throughout the country. One of the biggest issues that we face in developing these projects is stormwater. The properties of this project have experienced decades-long issues with flooding and other stormwater issues. The sinkholes are simply not effective enough to control the stormwater volume and the runoff as it enters the site. We're proposing a series of multiple ponds on the site to handle the 100-year storm event, which is above and beyond the county and state requirements of the 25-year storm. We want to manage that stormwater on site, release it in a controlled manner, in an engineered and safe manner as it crosses Couchville Pike. We feel the private development dollars that are being put into this to find a solution for a decades-long problem and the stormwater plan that's being proposed will be an effective way to treat this and allow a safer community project and create a safe plan for the members of the community and also create something to control downstream flooding issues that have also been experienced by property owners in the past. I thank you for your time, and we're happy to answer any questions moving forward.
Thank you. Mr. Mark Herman?
Well, good evening, Commissioners. I'm Mark Herman. I am a principal engineer with TTO. I specialize in geotechnical engineering, and I've been involved in this project from the conceptual part of it. And from my standpoint, we all know what sinkholes are. I hope you guys know what sinkholes are. And they are used primarily in Wilson County as areas to receive and discharge drainage. Our plan includes cleaning out all the sinkholes, unclogging them, if you will, backfilling them with open material that is very pervious. This is a piece of the fabric that we use to line it. It's, as you can see, it's very, very thin, and it lets water through it very rapidly. And so essentially the plan that we have developed will essentially help improve the drainage characteristics of the existing sinkholes. And if they don't have adequate capacity to discharge all the water as it comes, then we have the detention ponds to store it until it can be adequately discharged throughout the subsurface. Pretty solid plan, and it's used throughout the county. It's nothing new, and I think it's going to be a really good plan. Any questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Bob Tomey?
I'm Bob Toomey. I live at 2780 Lone Oak Road. I moved out there on Whippleville Farm in 1971. At that time, it was Route 3 Drennan Road, but they ended up changing the name of it. But on our road, we've got water coming from Wallace Lanham's property, and that's where all the water I thought come from. But I didn't know till my daughters built some houses out there. There's water coming off a nice road and across Henry and Mike Lux's property, and it comes down Lone Oak Road, and it was 5.5 inches deep. And I never knew the whole time I've been out there that much water come off of there. I don't know how much water is over on Underwood right now, but when you put all these warehouses in here, the water's not going to go in the ground no more. It's going to be on top of the ground. And I don't see why you people can't go ahead and put maybe like a Walgreens or fast food restaurants or something. Why we have to have another warehouse put there? Y'all got that warehouse put in there. Nobody knew nothing about it. And now they seem like they want to put a bunch. They're going to put one right across the street from me. And we spent from 22, 23, and 24, and then they just went ahead and passed it. So we're going to get stuck with a warehouse right across the street. So they're ruining my way of life, and all these people on Underwood, you're going to ruin their way of life. You've got warehouses going all the way up and down the south end of Couchfield Pike, and if you could go ahead and keep them on that side of the road, it's not bad. There's not that many houses over there. Well, we got a pretty good sized neighborhood, and then further on down on Lone Oak Road, you've built all them houses down below there. So the people are worried about you putting warehouses from north end of Couchfield Pike all the way to the Glade. So I'm hoping that maybe you can change it and maybe put something else there instead of a warehouse. Thank you.
Thank you. Sherry Bible.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Sherry Bible, and I live at 3556 Underwood Road. I've lived there for the last 14 years with my husband, Tony Bible. Tony's lived there for 35 years. He built his dream home there. He raised his daughters there and hoped to one day give his house to one of his daughters, Kirsten or Peyton. Sadly, his hope has turned into despair. Do you know what it's like to see your husband as he watches his dreams wash away right before his eyes? Like water rolling under a bridge, or out of an overloaded sinkhole is more like it. It's heartbreaking knowing that I can't do anything about it. We don't want to move. We built our life there. We never thought we'd have to move from our home, but our home and our property has become a nightmare. When it rains, we flood. Our neighbors flood. It's gotten worse and worse over the years, and the water keeps on coming, and we keep on flooding. We're both getting older. My husband is 60 years old now. We should be enjoying our lives, not worrying about when the next rain is coming and going to flood us out again. Both of us still work really hard, and when we're not working, we're volunteering, helping our elderly neighbors in our community. We shouldn't have to be spending our time moving our possessions to higher ground, waiting on the water to go down, and then doing it all over again. Before now, nobody's offered to help us with this. Everything is always on us. We've already spent lots of money replacing things that we've lost, and so have our neighbors. When is enough enough? You have before you a proposal that deals with all the flooding issues in our area. This proposal adds much-needed taxes for Wilson County, good jobs for the community, and takes into account all of our neighbors. This developer came in and listened and went back and came with a plan that y'all asked them to, that covers all of the bases. Flooding and draining issues for the entire area, not just our parcels, will be dramatically improved both upstream and downstream. Roads will be widened, buffers that are double the width of the county requirements will be installed. A lot of money will go to Wilson County to help with a lot of other things that Wilson County truly needs. I'm aware that some who oppose this project and don't live in Wilson County or near the proposed project area, and they haven't dealt with the flooding issues firsthand like we have. I don't think most people really understand what we've been through and continue to go through because there are no plans except for this plan for the out-of-control flooding in our area. If you don't allow First Park 840 to fix the ongoing flooding issues in our area, then it's never going to be fixed. Wilson County does not have the kind of money needed to fix it. And to our neighbors who aren't flooding now, you will one day. It's just a matter of time if this is not fixed. Thank you for doing what's right. I ask each one of you to look at the facts tonight and vote yes. A special thank you to our commissioners who replied to our emails and also spoke with us. Thank you to our mayor as well.
Thank you. Darren Dixon.
Hi, my name is Darren Dixon. I live at 3662 Underwood Road, and my land is next door to theirs, beside theirs, and a lot of what I was going to say has already been mentioned, but one of the things that I want to kind of say is we've got two problems. We've got a flooding problem, and we've got a solution for that flooding problem, and it's it's not just hearsay. They spent a lot of money paying professionals that know more than most of the people in this room about the engineering, the geotech. They've done the research on it, and they've also had civil engineers to figure out how much water we're dealing with, what is it going to take to stop it and retain it, and what is it going to take to clean out the sinkholes. They're already probably half stopped up anyway, so at least we have a solution for that. And they've also had a third party come in and just to double check the other professionals that were there to make sure it's right. And the amount of due diligence that First Industrial has done, to me, as a homeowner, is very impressive and makes me feel confident because they're not just saying it, they put it in the plans. You know, they've got at least 5 retention ponds, some of them with walls as high as almost 20 feet. So that'll hold the water long enough to keep it from going and damaging other people's properties until it has time for the sinkholes to drain. So it's kind of like it's almost like a shower with a stopped up drain, and when you get all this rain that comes in and fills up, there's no place to go. But what First Industrial is doing, they're buying the worst land, or they're offering to buy the worst land and make that a part of the solution for everybody else. And then they're pretty much turning they're turning a shower with a stopped up drain into a big tub that will hold the water until the drain can drain the water out. And they're also cleaning out the drain so they're more efficient. And just like what Miss Bible said, if not this, and then what are we going to do? I've looked at the paperwork, and they're spending over $6 million on this. I mean, is the county, do they have that kind of money to fix this issue? I don't know. It hasn't happened yet. And I've also, talking to one of the commissioners, they have said that there's something on the table about raising people's property taxes. And this would really make you guys look like a whole lot better off if you all could take this $2 million of cash for the rates to apply that.
Clint Thomas.
Thank you for your time.
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, thank you for this time this evening. I come to you not just as a resident, but someone who respects the responsibility you guys carry and the transformation that responsibility brings. You know as well as I do, being elected changes your perspective. Before public service, we tend to see things through our own lens of me, what benefits my property. But once you serve, you begin to think in terms of we, our community, our county, our shared future. That broader, more holistic view never really leaves you after you leave office. And it's through that lens that I ask you to view First Park 840 proposal, please. Because through that lens, it's clear this is a win-win-win. It's a win for the 10 families who have spent years battling repeated flooding, losing property, peace of mind, and safety. This rezoning provides them with long overdue relief. It's a win-win for the wider community by finally addressing chronic flooding issues using private investment, not taxpayer dollar. And it's a win for Wilson County because the development expands our tax base, something we desperately need, eases the burden on taxpayer, and creates quality jobs to strengthen our long-term economy. Now, I admit, like many of you, I've been skeptical for many years. For years, I've witnessed the same canned presentations, the same cookie-cutter promises with little real change. But this time it's different. The developer didn't just come with a one-size-fits-all. They engaged local leadership. They met directly with the affected families, they listened to the concerns, made adjustments, and followed through. This is exactly the kind of approach that we should be encouraging, thoughtful, collaborative development that puts people first and supports public interest. If we don't recognize and reward efforts like these, we risk sending a dangerous message to the development community that working hard and being a good corporate citizen is of no consequence. And if that is the perception, we risk losing that kind of partner who's willing to go the extra mile and do the right thing. And let's not forget, Wilson County, we're no longer just a rural buffer to Nashville. We're a high-growth hub with world-class infrastructure and underused competitive advantage in logistics. But we're trying to manage that growth with a land use plan from 2006, written completely in a different economic era, long before the great financial recession and the COVID pandemic, and not to mention the boom of population that followed. That plan doesn't reflect the realities we face today. If we don't modernize that approach, we'll lose out on jobs, miss opportunities, and tax base, jeopardizing our long-term economic stability. It's important not only to grow and how we grow, but where we grow, if we want to keep these tax rates low and retain our workforce. And yes, the flooding issues we're talking about today, we know that they weren't created by you guys, but it's on your shoulders.
Mike Harbour. Mr. Mike Harbour.
Yes, my name is Mike Harbour. I'm at 2021 Couchville Pike. And I truly do sympathize with the people that have the problem with the flooding. I truly do. But for me and my family and our area, this is more a concern for destroying our community. This community was a very quiet community when we moved there 17 years ago. All the warehouses have made that a tremendous difference. Today, we have all kinds of traffic. We have all kinds of trash. The county has not picked up trash in years and years until I called earlier this year twice and finally got the trash picked up. Go back today and look at the road. There's trash everywhere. They pick up trash on 840. And then a week later, it looks like nothing was ever picked up. For us, this is a destruction of community. I sympathize, but flooding is only a part of the issue. The issue to us is keep our community that is being destroyed. That'll keep it short.
Thank you. Ashley Smith.
My name is Ashley. I live at 3401 Underwood Road. Our property is the adjacent property to the proposed warehouse. We live in a beautiful rural setting. It's a place where my husband and I have raised our two kids, one 10 years old and one 13 years old. My kids love their yard because they can go outside and practice their sports. They hit baseballs, they play volleyball, they can run around the property without worrying about a warehouse being next to them. Building a warehouse directly next to us will take away their childhood. We will have to be alert at all times for strangers, people turning around in our driveway, more traffic, more noise at night. From where we live, we can hear the backup of semi-trucks from current warehouses that are already there. There will not be a peaceful rural setting for us anymore. Aside from that, having a warehouse next to you will completely devalue your home. There's not one person looking to buy your house next to a warehouse. There will be a whole lot of blasting going on that will create cracks in our drywall and our concrete. There will be constant noise. We will have strangers next to us coming and going, whether or not they're building the warehouse or working at the warehouse. There will be people next to us at all times. Please consider how you would feel if a warehouse was going to be next to you and you had children to look out for as well. And it makes me incredibly sad to think that that could be taken away from us. Thank you.
Thank you. Piper Smith. Piper Smith.
Hi, my name is Piper, and I live on 3401 Underwood Road, and I think the warehouses should not go in. And I have 3 reasons why. First reason is the more cars passing by will increase the amount of trash on the side of the road, and the more trash can hurt the environment and also just look bad on the street. And that's one of the reasons. And then the second reason is it will be taking freedom away from a lot of people, including me, but just going outside. I like going outside and playing the sport that I love, but if more cars go by, that means it being more unsafe, and it will make me feel unsafe. The last reason is it will hurt my sleep schedule because I have school, and if there's like bombing going on at like 3 in the morning, that will not make me go to sleep, and I can hear trucks go by from like 10 miles away, and if that's right next to me, I will not be able to sleep, and that can hurt my grades and my ability to play the sport that I love. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Julie Kirby. Julie Kirby.
Hello, and before I get started today, I'm the one that put the orange folders on y'all's desk, and they have a lot of flooding pictures that are from my property that will correlate with my discussion today. Okay. My name is Julie Kirby, and my family and I live on the 10 acres included in the project that you're reviewing today. We're asking for a yes vote because we need serious help with flooding. Since 2021, our property started taking on more water. We built a runoff pond 8 years ago. We spent $18,000 of our own money to handle the water that we take on from the neighbors to the north. By 2021, that pond had stopped flowing. By 2022, we had water coming in our structures. In February of this year, our shop completely flooded. And I have photos that correlate with that. You'll see our sunken plasma cutter and a lot of other things that flooded in that shop. We lost a $15,000 plasma cutter, thousands of dollars of software and hardware, and we had to shut down our small business for 8 days. We have a very small business that we run together on our property. We estimate around $80,000 in total losses just in that month. We don't have flood insurance. So that $80K came straight out of our pocket. And plus, again, we had to shut our business down for 8 days to clean up. And you guys can see all those photos. You can see our plasma cutter deep in the water. You can see our shop flooded, our tractor. We also run an animal rescue. Our turtle pens flooded. You can see the pictures of the little turtle house. We have giant turtles that we have to move. Our goat barn took on water, and we had to move animals to keep them safe. In the past, we have opposed other developments trying to come in next to us because not because we're anti-growth, but because no one offered us any solution for our flooding. No one. No one even spoke to us about it when they would try to put in other projects there. That changed with First Industrial, and here's what's key. First Industrial was told they had to come up with a plan that included and helped those of us that fled. And that's exactly what they did. They did the research, they did the runoff studies, and they figured out who floods. They spent real money to develop a flood mitigation plan. Private money, not taxpayer money. Now you hear the opposition say, well, this plan won't work. But what plan's working now? What plan do we have in place for us, those of us who fled and lose equipment? Because we're flooding right now, there is no plan. First Industrial set up a Q&A presentation on June 21st from 4:30 to 6:30. They had engineers in that room ready to explain the nuts and bolts of this project.
Thank you. Thank you. Rachel Gwynn.
Okay.
Rachel Gwynn.
I have pictures too if anyone else wants to see the flooding photos.
Hi, my name is Rachel Quinn. I live at 3125 Underwood Road. I would like to begin by pointing out that most, if not 100%, of the voices supporting this rezoning will not be impacted by the long-term effects if you vote yes, because they either don't live here or they will be getting a huge payout and leaving the area. Knowing that, I would like each of you to ask yourselves whether you think it's ethical for individuals who will necessarily be exiting the neighborhood once this rezoning goes forward, if those individuals should be given a voice about whether or not the development will be good for us, the long-term community. What is the purpose of zoning laws to begin with? I asked and Google told me that zoning laws are regulations that dictate how land can be used within a specific area. Their main purpose is to organize land use, ensure compatibility between different types of development, preserving property values, and achieving community goals. Only the community itself can tell you its goals. Only the people who continue to own land in the area after this decision is approved care anything about the property value in this area. Those who are exiting the community should not have a voice in that. They will not be experiencing any of those long-term consequences if you vote yes, and their motivation is mostly, if not completely, financial. If this decision goes through, let it be known that it's because of financial reasons, not because of any consideration for the good of the people who will be living and the lives there. That being said, I sincerely hope you are listening to the goals of the actual long-term community. We want a peaceful neighborhood. We don't want more traffic on Couchville Pike or the on-ramp or exit to 840 when the current infrastructure is not there to create this rezoning and there has been more traffic since the other warehouses went in. We don't want to hear trucks loading and unloading while we sit on our porches or smell the exhaust. We don't want the trash. We don't want the blasting that will continue, that they will be doing on a large-scale building project because the blasting affects the sinkholes and the water table in unpredictable ways. We don't want the possibility of flooding getting worse instead of better. We have no assurances to believe the promises that this will help with flooding. These developers can say whatever they want and nobody will hold them accountable after the fact if they lie. But the truth is, they can't know for sure what will happen. We have no assurances. They're just going to build it and then go home to their own communities far away and leave us to live with the consequences every single day. These developers and those who are selling their land have a huge financial incentive to say anything to convince you to vote yes, but I'm asking you to do the ethical thing and listen to the long-term community. Not a single one of us wants this, and that means something. The decision you are about to make will be a testament to your integrity too, so please do the right thing and vote no.
Thank you. Tony Bible. Tony Bible.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. I'm Tony Bob. I've been living on Underwood Road since 1987, and I've seen it all, and it's all there right now. The water's there. It's not going to go away unless the Park 840 does something about it. I've had sleepless nights with the water, and it's going to keep going on till I die if somebody don't do something about it. So y'all decide what you want to. Give it all you got, right in your heart. So all I got to say about that, Jenny.
Thank you. Matthew Whitaker.
Good evening. Let me start with this page. My name is Matthew Whitaker, and I'm here tonight in support of First Park 840 because I believe, plain and simple, it's a good plan for Wilson County. My family has deep roots here. I'm an investor in the county, and my dad, Gary Whitaker, is a retired executive from Wilson Megan Trust. Together, we own a piece of land that's part of this proposal. Between my dad and I, we've seen a lot of developments and a lot of proposals. What First Industrial is offering to do to fix the constant flooding in this area is something you just don't see. They're tackling a problem the county has no plan to fix, let alone a plan to pay for it. And they didn't wait for you to force it on them as a condition of the approval. When private money agrees to pay to fix a flooding issue that would otherwise have to come out of taxpayers' pockets, that's a win in my book. Let's be honest here. This area floods all the time. Rejecting this project is not an alternative solution. It's an endorsement of the dangerous status quo. This plan is over-engineered to manage a 100-year flood. Think about that. I know some folks are concerned about sinkholes. The plan is to clean them out and line them with a permeable fabric, not an impervious plastic sheet like you'd use to build a frog pond in the backyard. This allows water to flow through it beneath the surface while keeping out the debris that cause clogging. The newer retention ponds will increase runoff storage capacity by 60%. 60%. And slow the release of that water by over 30%. That helps everybody upstream and downstream. To say this risks making things worse defies logic. This developer listened to the community and revised the plans before they submitted them. They're even purchasing properties from homeowners who bear the brunt of the flooding. That should be celebrated and not condemned. This developer has worked in and around Wilson County for 30 years. They have a reputation of doing what they say they'll do, and this project is a win for our community. It solves a major safety issue funded by the developer, not the taxpayers. I urge you to vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Henry? Thank you. Mr. Henry, if you would, please hold your applause just so people can hear and we can move forward. Not for sure if I'm saying the right last name right. Henry?
Henry Lutz?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just couldn't read it. My bad.
Everybody, my name's Henry Lutz. I live at 2166 Lone Oak Road. I've been out there since before the 840 come in. I thank the Lord I don't have a flooding problem, but I don't want the warehouses this new one in because we got another one coming. And as y'all said, there's won't be traffic on Lone Oak or Underwood. We still got tractor trailers coming in from McQuarrie going down Lone Oak Road to that other warehouse that's open now. But I just don't want all the noise that's going to come from it, and you know, I don't know what else there could be that could come from it, but I'm just against it. So thank y'all. Have a good.
Thank you. Cindy Garvin, said that right? I messed it up, I'm sure.
That's close, sir. Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, my name is Cindy Garvin Sanchez. I'm here on behalf of my mother as well, Brenda Garvin. She's at 1111 Couchville Pike. I grew up here in Wilson County. My family's owned property here for many, many years, and our land is a part of this proposed project. Coming back and forth from Texas, where I currently live, and over the years as I was traveling with the military, I've seen Wilson County change dramatically. And I think that happens when you're in and out and you're not constantly in one place. These changes, well, I don't think that's a surprise for any of us. Time brings change, and change can be hard, and I know that. This area along Couchville Pike, Underwood Road, and Interstate 840 is in the middle of a big transition. It's been going on for almost 30 years. There's still a few homes there, but it's largely transformed to commercial and industrial. The homes that are still there are also a part of this project because the land they're sitting on is flood prone. And the flooding has only gotten worse over the years, putting those homeowners in a terrible situation. Now, there's a good solution that's being presented. This project will buy up the homes that are basically unsellable. Those properties, along with others, will lead to the widening of Couchville Pike and Underwood Road. Couchville Pike will move better with a third lane, and traffic will be discouraged on Underwood Road with signs and speed bumps the developer has offered to install. Most importantly, the new development will bring a solution to the flooding that this area experiences. The developer has spent a lot of money and gone back to the drawing table to engineer a very good solution that uses existing sinkholes and detention ponds to manage and slow the flow of the water, and the developer pays for it, not the taxpayers. The investment here will also bring tax dollars to Wilson County that the county doesn't have right now. Impact fees, ongoing annual property taxes, and construction investment will bring dollars and jobs to the area. We know that this area is going to continue to change and develop. Wouldn't you rather have a community-focused plan like this instead of a strip shopping mall that has cars going in and out all day and all evening long? There won't be any flood solutions with a facility like that. I love this county, and I love this area. I grew up here, went to school here, still have friends and family here, and I have so many good memories of this area and continue to make new ones as I frequently come back home for some short and some really long-term stays. I want good things to happen for Wilson County. My family is still here. They're not going anywhere off of Couchville Pike. They're going to be here. So this is my home. My knowledge and experience of this developer is that he will do what he promises.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mike, unless Mr. Mike spoke at the first one, do I have a mic that still needs to speak? I guess I do. Sorry, I couldn't say the last name.
My name is Mike Lutz. I live at 111 Nice Road. I've been there 40-something years. The traffic's so bad now. My road is only 12 foot wide. I've got tractor trailers going down it weekly. Both ends of the road, fences have been torn down numerous times. I was about 15 years ago, I was in a dump truck with a friend of mine. We met a school bus and we collided. I never seen so many Wilson County Sheriff Department, school board people come, because the roads are not big enough to take the traffic. I know everybody has got all this flooding and stuff. I know they got these walls I don't know if they're going to be 20 foot tall. How are you going to get the water in them? I've been a contractor 50-something years. I know how you got to have filters. You got to change the filters. How do you maintain them? Have there any questions with what's going on that? So I'm voting no. The traffic has gotten so bad. It's just a few months back, we was fighting a venue on Underwood. Mexicans wanted to have 200 or 300 cars there, 300 or 400 people there. They voted that down finally because they had 9.9 acres, and they need 15 acres before they could have a venue. Plus, they found out the septic system wouldn't work. So I just vote no. I mean, I feel sorry for these people that flood. You know, it's been like this for a long time. So that's about all I can say. So I just vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. Danielle Gordon.
All right, I'm going to cruise through this fast. We got a lot to cover. My name is Danielle Gordon. I live at 3325 Underwood Road, about 200 yards from the proposed development. I also own a PR and marketing firm. I've been in PR for over a decade. And the narrative from this developer and the supporters of this proposal that it's going to stop the flooding is a PR tactic. It's part of their campaign to get this passed and save taxpayer dollars. The promise to build retention ponds does not solve the flooding issue. And we have to remember, private developers are not acting out of goodwill. They are here to profit, not protect our community. They're propagating this message to get this passed. My home has flooded on multiple occasions, and after extensive research on this plan, along with the comments from the Wilson County Planning Director, Christopher Lawless, in the May 16th meeting, it's clear this proposal is not the solution to the flooding issue. It's a way for a few homeowners to cash out and leave the rest of the area to deal with major repercussions from this development. These are the comments from Mr. Lawless on the May 16th meeting. The initial master plan shows a warehouse building over top of existing sinkholes on the property, which was seemingly proposed to have them capped and no longer take surface drainage into the sinkhole. Staff has concerns about where the water would go, both in terms of surface runoff and within the sinkhole, the water table below ground. Speaking with the county's consulting engineer on this case, they've outlined that sinkholes can be capped and mitigated, but in the instance of this site, with a number of sinkholes present, a much better outcome would be to leave some of the sinkholes alone or mitigate with an injection well to allow them to continue taking on some water volume. This would require any resultant site plan for construction to differ from this conceptual plan. It would mean a much smaller building would have to be proposed to accommodate such a scenario. The site in question, it's one we've discussed before, is the 1113 Couchville Pike property, which is the only property listed in this rezoning application with any land use plan direction to ever potentially go commercial. This is the site with the 6 major sinkholes on it. What's the solution? We're not here to say that 34 acres, which does have land use direction, should never be developed. There are a number of solutions for that property. Like Planning Commissioner Gary Renfro referenced at the May 16th meeting, the County of Oak Ridge bought local land that had major sinkholes to protect residents. I would support my tax dollars going to a green space purchase of that area. A smaller footprint, avoid disturbing those sinkholes or use injection wells requiring a much smaller build, or different land use. Follow the land use plan for the SR 840 Couchville Pike interchange, which lists retail, restaurants, office parks, village centers, not an interstate shipping warehouse. And keep in mind the rest of these surrounding properties have no land use plan direction to ever go commercial. It states existing low density residential and farmland to remain. The bottom line is this proposal does not solve the flooding and puts the surrounding homes at risk. So let's demand a plan that protects our people, not one that trades our safety, our homes, and this community's well-being for someone else's profit. Thank you.
Monty Gordon.
My name is Monty Gordon. I live at 3325 Underwood Road, about 200 yards from the 70 acres proposed warehouse development. We've heard plenty of claims today about properties that can't be sold because of the flooding issues. However, according to MLS records, none of these properties, with the exception of 1113 Couchville Pike, have been listed for sale in the last 10 years. If there is truly urgency to leave because of flooding, I would have expected to see listings, price reductions, or any activity in the market. Instead, there's been no attempt to sell any of these homes in question until now, when a potential windfall is on the table. It's true, the proposal would likely solve the flooding concerns for these specific homeowners, but only because the homes won't exist anymore. These property owners would cash out, likely move outside of Gladeville or even Wilson County, and never have to deal with flooding again. Meanwhile, the rest of us who remain would be left to absorb the long-term consequences of a large-scale development that would fundamentally change our community. Every property owner in this room has the right to sell their land at any time under zoning regulations in place currently in the land use plan that stands. What no one has is an inherent right to rezone their property in a way that harms surrounding neighbors or disregards the well-being of those who remain. Gladevillians, especially those who lived in the area for decades, never asked Wilson County officials or a private developer to fix the flooding. We've asked them to stop building warehouses and paving over sinkholes. Anyone can understand that putting a filter over a sinkhole will restrict the flow to it and leave it on the surface of the land. On a personal note, I love this community. We love Wilson County. We're a young family with a daughter and another on the way. Our kids will go to Gladeville schools one day. We love our neighbors and value this special community. Please don't let the pursuit of profit by a few individuals come at the cost of the well-being of so many families who've chosen to build their lives here. Thank you.
Delaney Williams. Delaney Williams.
Hello, my name is Delaney Williams, and I live with my parents on the 10 acres that are a part of the project being presented today. I'm speaking because my parents and I have suffered a lot because of the flooding around 2021 to 22. They have run a small business for 12 years on this property, and they've worked very hard. We also have an animal rescue on this property where we have a lot of foster dogs coming and going, giant tortoises, goats, chickens, and guineas, and a lot of other animals we have to worry about. It breaks my heart to see them lose so much money and be forced to shut down their business for flooding. Their business is their only source of income. Every time it rains hard, everyone gets nervous. We don't know if we need to move animals or move equipment. It's extremely stressful, and we live in the fear of the next flood. This is the first time anyone has ever tried to help us. They can't get a regular market value on this property, not the same price per acreage as the people who do not flood. This is the first industrial that has gone above and beyond to understand what they're dealing with and to actually offer a real solution at a fair price for the land. I fear that if this does not pass, the people that try to develop the land next won't be as generous as these people are today. They won't spend that kind of money to solve a problem that has been ignored for years. This is a chance for something good for people who have been overlooked. We are truly hoping you vote yes today. Please support this project and the people who fled so we don't end up with a disaster where people lose more than just equipment. Thank you.
Chad Williams. Chad Williams.
Hi, I'm Chad Williams at 3461 Underwood Road. You heard from my wife Julie and just now from my daughter, so I don't have to tell you all that stuff. I just want to say the flooding is why we're leaving, because no one's come to fix it. These people have come to fix the problems for everybody else. They're just buying us out to do it. So it's a win for the city, for the county. The money's coming out of their pocket, not out of the county's pocket. And I do believe that they have a solution for this flooding. That's all I have to say.
James Davis.
Hello, my name is James Davis. I live at 3421 Underwood Road, north side of this proposed warehouse. If built, these warehouses will cover 4 sinkholes that have always been used for stormwater runoff. It is documented that county staff has major concerns about where water will go, both in terms of surface water and underground water and the underground water table if these sinkholes are covered. I had 300 feet of septic tank line added several years ago, and we had to put them in a different location than first planned because the ditches we dug filled with groundwater. So the staff's concerns are valid. I'm sure the Wilson County Septic Inspector documented this. If my septic tank does not work, my house will be unlivable for my family. I also have a dry creek bed that gets a lot of water in it at the back of my property. The proposed warehouse will sit right in the middle of this, so it will be blocking that creek bed. The retention ponds they're talking about, those are to keep the warehouses from flooding. They're not for us. I mean, they're just, a mouth can say anything. So at one of the commission meetings, their own developer said, I, as an engineer, cannot design something that negatively affects anyone's property. And then in the very next breath says, I can't promise or guarantee anything. This property is rural residential, and I'm asking you to keep it that way. These warehouses are not going to stop flooding. They will make it worse. The demolition will destroy our houses. The groundwater will make our septic tanks unusable. And all the extra traffic is going to make these roads even more dangerous. When I think of areas with a lot of warehouses, I think of Laverne and Antioch. I cannot imagine anybody wanting to turn Gladeville into Laverne or Antioch. If someone needs a warehouse in this area, there's several that are sitting vacant right now. Please vote no.
Thank you. Ricky Haynes.
Hey, thank you. Good evening. My name's Ricky Haynes. I'm speaking in support of First Park 840. This very community that First Park 840 desires to partner with has been both home and also a workplace for myself. I moved out there in 1994. I went to work for the Nashville Superspeedway from 2001 to 2006. I still have a great working relationship with the new partners at the track, Matt Gricci and SMI. I've been here to witness the growth. I've lived it. It's provided me employment, and still today, Wilson County is a vital part of my livelihood. Today, I represent the property on Couchville Pike owned by the Garvin and Orange families, which is a part of the project. I've been involved with prior proposals. Nothing has ever come close to what's on the table tonight for you guys to look at and approve. This is different. This developer isn't here just to build buildings. They're here to be a great neighbor and a problem solver. Underwood Road. You've all heard and many of you have seen what those families experienced during heavy rain events. It's been that way for decades. Flooded yards, damaged property, belongings, both personal and work-related, ruined. Until now, they've essentially been stuck with unsellable homes. The approval of First Park 840 gives them a way out, a pathway for a new start. This project brings long overdue solutions that are real. This developer is stepping up, widening roads, managing stormwater the correct way, not just to county minimums, but to the 100-year floodplain. Double the required buffers, offering to calm traffic through signage and speed control. I'm extremely appreciative that this effort has been shaped by community input. First Industrial just didn't come in here and only attempt to push through their ideas. They listened. They've come to you with a plan that reflects what the people actually want and need. There's no doubt that Wilson County is growing. People's desire to live, work, raise their families, that's going to continue. The growth's going to continue. It's not slowing down, guys. It's not. So when you have a project before you that brings jobs, investment, long overdue infrastructure improvements, and does all of this by working hand in hand with the community, that's something we should all get behind. In closing, for the people that have waited far too long for relief and for the future of Wilson County, I respectfully ask that all of you vote yes on First Park 840. Thank you.
Donnie Dowling.
My name is Donnie Dowling. I live at 3399 Underwood Road. 9 years ago, my wife and I and our daughter and her family bought land on Underwood Road, and we both built homes on that property. My daughter and her husband and their 2 young children built their forever home there, and we built next to them. My daughter and her daughter spoke earlier. Next to my daughter's home is a nice log home with 10 acres. Below that's 35 acres zoned R1. All of these are included in part of the rezoning proposed for east of Underwood Road. Meaning, if this is approved, my daughter and her family will have to live right next door to a warehouse. I doubt you would want to do that either. This is a nice residential area we live in. Couchville Pike and Lone Oak have always been buffer zones. Warehouses on one side of these roads, homes on the other. There are now 17 warehouses just on our side of 840 at the Couchville Pike exit, 17. So we've certainly borne our share of the warehouse burden for the county. So one of our issues is quality of life. There are so many great places in the county for warehouses. For instance, the racetrack area, all along Golden Bear Parkway. There's a 200-acre industrial park in Lebanon. All are great areas for warehouses, and they want to come in our residential area. Another issue is flooding. The developer is going to cover 70 acres of land with asphalt and warehouses. He's going to cover 4 of the 6 sinkholes on the land below us where rainwater drains. They're going to put a filter on the largest one of the 2 sinkholes remaining, which will restrict water flowing into it, and that's going to help the flooding for those left behind. I'm not buying that, and I hope you don't either. Even their own engineer has said previously they can make no guarantees regarding flooding. The homeowners that the developer approached to buy up have always been against rezoning. Now they've changed their minds. But they chose to live where they live. They chose to live where there are flooding concerns. It was their choice. This has been before the Planning Commission many times, and it's never had a positive recommendation. We're asking you to be sympathetic to our plight and vote no on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Karen Thomas.
Good evening. My name is Karen Thomas. My husband and I, Clint, have lived on Underwood for 26 years. 1 year after we bought our home, the flooding started. Since then, we've been flooded more than a dozen times, more times than I could count, really. The worst time, the water came over the garage doors and nearly reached our elevated deck and was just an inch from coming into our home. The scariest time was when my oldest son was around 11 or 12 and went to help with moving things out of the garage while the flooding was occurring. Before even 5 minutes had passed, the water was to his shoulders and he struggled to fight the flow to get to safety. We've lost and had to replace our ductwork. The electrical panel in the garage was ruined. The control system for our AC unit was under 2 feet of water and had to be replaced. The piers under our house have shifted and are unstable. A massive propane tank currently sets off its foundation as it was picked up and carried around the side of the garage by floodwaters. It cannot be moved without heavy equipment, so it stays there. We've lost a freezer, lawnmower, tools, tens of thousands of cars, all gone. We've had to move our cars up to our neighbor's place. My aunt and uncle came to help out, and we had to bring them, well, we did it, but they had to be brought by to our home by John Boat. The entire driveway and yard were underwater. Water was over the road, and we were stuck in our home. Folks were literally bringing us things by boat. If this is all sounding like a nightmare, that's because it is a nightmare, and it's also no way to live. Exacerbating matters is the weather forecast. As silly as it seems to some, if we have days of rain in the forecast, I'm worried, I'm anxious. I'm wondering how much more of our home and our property will be damaged. We didn't build this house. It was built by reputable builders, and there was no reason to expect what was to come. We've done all we can, but now we're stuck. Our house is unsellable. I don't know that it's unsellable because I've put it up for sale on websites. I know that it's unsellable because no one is going to want to live in a house that floods, and we would have to disclose that. We can't get flood insurance, and we've stopped trying to clean up after the flood. It just keeps happening. After 26 years of nothing, someone is offering to help. If you say no to this proposal, what message will that be sending to future developers? That it doesn't matter if they collaborate with the community and find ways to provide tangible, game-changing relief? That Wilson County, is not interested in doing business that way? Send the right message instead. Vote yes. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Sonia Robinson.
Good evening. My name is Sonia Robinson. I live at 1824 Underwood Road. What about quality of life? What about safety? The Wilson County Road Department maintains 867 miles of county roads. They're not road builders. Couchville Pike is a county road in which the warehouses that are there have a turning lane into these that go in and go out. It is still a 2-lane road. If you're a road commissioner in this county, you are very aware that Underwood Road, Nice, Fellowship, and Lone Oak are all 1 or 2-lane roads that these semis are going on. That's what they're having to deal with, is the quality of life and the safety when you are having a semi that runs you off the road on Underwood Road because they're going to the warehouses on Couchville. The sinkholes, there's a policy in the zoning ordinance here where the Wilson County doesn't like for the sinkholes to be filled. They're taking on more water. You know why? Because of the warehouses that have been built out there. I've been out there 38 years on Underwood Road. I have fought them. I've watched them. They're taking on more water in different areas in 20 and 21 because of the warehouses that have been built out there. So if you move the land, you cover it up, where's the water going to go? It's going to go to other land, which is what is happening right here. And they're exactly right about the gentlemen, the developers. They can't guarantee this. They cannot guarantee this, that this is not going to flood. I don't care what. The GPS, when this is finished, the GPS is going to send them the shortest route. Where you think it's going? Underwood Road, straight to the end of Underwood Road off Stewart's Ferry Pike. That's how they're going to get there. The warehouses, it was brought up about the jobs. There's not a lot of jobs out there. Geodis just got through closing down. There's a warehouse out there at the corner of Logistics.
Lori Payne.
And
Lori Payne. Thank you. Lori Payne, your time is up, Miss Sonia.
Time up?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know I could keep talking.
Hi, my name is Lori Payne. I live out in the Glade area, and I'm bringing forth to you, which nobody else has talked about this evening. It's called the Glade Ecosystem, which has been in play for the Glade area for quite a long time. And it was put in play because the Glade ecosystem is one of the rarest in the United States. It contains rare plants, rare animals, and lots of different species. I have something I put together I can hand out to all of you so you all have it. But we've lost all of our barking tree frogs, our lizards, our snakes, our tortoises, and everything else, and our bats, due to the fact of closing up the sinkholes and adding warehouses and blacktop to our ecosystem. The limestone flushes out our water system, which provides lots of water. The Gladeville Utility District provides lots of water to lots of homeowners in the area. And by covering it up and blasting the limestone, you're ruining the ecosystem. So, with that being said, closing up 4 more sinkholes, you're just doing away with more and more of our ecosystem, our environmental. Never mind taking down our red cedars, our oak trees, our walnut trees, along with our hickory trees, which feed our ecosystem. All of these are part of our community and environmentally good for all of us. If we don't have an ecosystem, we don't have a healthy community. We don't have a healthy Wilson County. So, with that being said, along with all of the semi-trucks, we had 2 head-on collisions right out in front of my house this past week. Me and my husband stopped because there were 2 baby fawns right alongside the road, and if we wouldn't have stopped, we would have gotten hit head-on by a car that came around the curve way too fast, and he lost control and almost hit us. The traffic is tremendously bad, and by adding another 2,000 cars to our roads out there, along with 400 more semi-trucks, that's just not feasible. The roads out there cannot handle them. And God bless all of you road commissioners here in Wilson County, but that area just can't handle it. I mean, getting on and off 840, you can sit there 20 minutes to get off 840 to get up on Couchville Pike. The trash is horrendous. I've looked at a orange road construction thing set up on 840 in Couchville Pike now for the past 5 years. Nobody has came and picked it up. There's 2 semi-tires sitting up there. Nobody has came and picked them up. The trash is horrendous, along with everything else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ben Butler. Ben Butler.
Hello, my name is Ben Butler. I'm a professional engineer, and I work for Civil and Environmental Consultants at 117 Seaboard Lane in Franklin. My firm was hired by First Industrial to perform an independent third-party review of the preliminary site plan and drainage calculations. Our task was to determine, based on the preliminary plans, if the development can feasibly be constructed in a manner that satisfies Wilson County stormwater regulations. And those regulations are looking at pre versus post flows two through the 25-year event, and this project goes further and it also looks up to the 100-year event, and so we agree in the conservative methodology of the modeling, and it's important to note that no infiltration credit was given to the existing sinkholes on the site. And so after we completed our review, we provided a letter to First Industrial stating that we believe this project can feasibly meet Wilson County stormwater regulations. Thank you.
Josh Rich.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. My name is Josh Reich, and I'm here in support of the proposed rezoning for First Park 840 development because it delivers real, tangible benefits for Wilson County that balance responsible economic growth with real community priorities. The project was designed thoughtfully and carefully with double the required landscape buffers, reduced lighting, and limited truck access. As discussed tonight, one of the biggest challenges in this area has been the flooding, and we're stepping up to help fix that. Our stormwater plan, which has been engineered and reviewed by outside experts, will hold 60% more water and release it 30% slower than what's occurring on the land today. We're investing over $6 million of private funding to get this done with no cost to the county or burden on the taxpayer. Finally, this development builds on FR's existing track record and long-term partnership with the community. Just across the street, First Industrial has helped create over 2,500 jobs with average salaries 25% above the county median. First Park 840 is a continuation of that commitment to bring quality jobs, increase tax revenue, solve real infrastructure problems, and be a reliable partner to the community for years to come. I thank you for your time, support, and consideration.
Donald Collins.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Donald Collins. I live at 4195 Birmingham Road in the River Oaks development here in Lebanon. I also am a civil engineer, chief engineer for one of the firms in Nashville that, while not connected to this project, I have looked at the proposal. And I'm currently working on a larger drainage project for an affected community here in Middle Tennessee, where significant flooding has also been a concern, where also sinkholes are a part of the current infrastructure and a partial solution to the overall project. But looking at what these neighbors have experienced over the years, I feel that the proposal that has been developed by the engineer is a sound one, that in combination with over retainage in their detention ponds and also improving the sinkholes can provide a viable solution. While buildings may be building across some of these sinkholes, they are proposed to be improved that where subsurface conditions can still be taking on drainage from the groundwater conditions and still not be affected long term to their usefulness to the overall infrastructure solution. So I would encourage you to consider this. My client does not have the benefit of having private development to affect their financial consideration for the fix. You having $6 million available to improve local conditions is a strong benefit to be considered. Thank you.
Brenda Bowles.
Good evening, Commissioners. Brendan Bowles with Kimley Horn and Associates. Been working on this site for quite a while now, and thank you for your time and service to the community, and appreciate the debate that has happened here tonight. The proposed project site is less than a mile from Interstate 840. It's consistent with the commercial development that's happened here in the corridor, and some of those things have been very good for the county and the growth that's happened here. We're not trying to ruin anybody's life or ruin anybody's neighborhood or cause any harm to anybody, but having commercial development on a commercial corridor right next to the interstate helps the county put development in the right place. You know, there's dollars spent on the roadway and the sewer and all those things to bring development to Couchville Pike at this interchange, and that's what we're trying to execute on. Regarding the flooding, you know, doing nothing is going to just leave you with what you have today, more flooding every time it rains. So I don't think doing nothing is an appropriate answer, and I don't believe, unless you gentlemen and ladies here tell me tonight that the county has money to buy this land and develop park and open space, I don't think that's a realistic option on the table. The county has stormwater regulations. We meet with the county engineers on a regular basis on projects. We meet with the third-party engineers hired by the county to review the stormwater regulations on a regular basis, and we're committed to being good neighbors to the neighbors around here, to the Wilson County residents and people downstream by detaining and controlling this stormwater in a way that we know where it's going on the surface in ponds that are big enough to handle the water that's coming there. You know, I appreciate the comments. We get an engineering license for a reason. For health, safety, and welfare of the public is #1 priority as an engineer. And I wouldn't be up here today saying these things if I didn't believe we could make it better. Couchville Pike will be improved to make the road wider and safer. We met with the Road Commission to talk about this project, and we agree to all their requirements and suggestions on road improvements. We're happy to do it. I think it's the right thing to do. There are no guarantees in life. We all know that. What we do know is doing nothing, we're going to get what we have today, flooding issues that nobody's there to fix. Allowing professional engineers to design the stormwater system to safely convey the stormwater on the surface and infiltrate where possible utilizes best engineering practices. And that's what we're trying to bring here to the county. We ask for your vote in favor of Park 840, and again, appreciate all your time and service to the community. Thank you.
Corey Johns.
Corey Johns, 200 Aviation Way, Lebanon, Tennessee. It's my pleasure to serve as Director of your Joint Economic Community Development Office, serving Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Watertown, and all of Wilson County. I wanted to bring a little bit of perspective for your consideration this evening. So I think many of you know that the mission of the Joint Economic Community Development Board is to recruit high-quality, high-wage jobs, to support existing industry and their growth and workforce needs, and to diversify Wilson County's tax base. One point you've heard me say before, and you're going to continue to hear me say, is that today about 3% of our county land mass is used for commercial or industrial purposes, yet it produces a whopping 1/3 of the county's total property tax assessment. So it's pretty important. We're at a transitional moment for Wilson County. We're able to compete for higher quality economic development projects today that we weren't able to compete for before. We're at a moment where there's a national priority to bring manufacturing back to the U.S., and we're seeing success with that. Schneider Electric is a leading manufacturer of energy technology, specializing in cutting-edge digital automation and energy management. We were able to recruit them in 2024, not one, but 2 projects, totaling over 755 jobs, $169 million additional investment in our community, and jobs that pay 125% of our current county median wage. That helped Wilson County be #1 in the state of Tennessee last year, according to the Department of Economic Community Development, for total projects won and total economic development jobs committed. It's one of the biggest economic development wins in our county's history, but it doesn't fall out of the sky. The anatomy of a project on this is that First Industrial invested in a spec building that we were able to use to recruit because it met Schneider's needs and requirements. That relationship and win led to a second project. Some of the commissioners had an opportunity recently to tour that operation, and I hope that you're impressed with what we brought to our community. And Schneider is still in a generational growth mode as a company, incidentally. So we have questions of growth. We're one of the most desirable areas in the entire country. Over 14 people a day move to Wilson County in a single year, according to the most available recent data. But there are three ways to plan for that. The community, i.e. county, can buy land, invest in site development, invest in the utilities, market it, and wait on the right project to come, putting taxpayers at risk and increasing the bond debt. We can require proposed developments to bring those utilities as they come, or we can identify areas where infrastructure exists and market to that. Incidentally, this 40 tonight happens to be within 1/2 mile of a federal interstate highway with existing public sewer that was brought by the investment of Wilson County government. We need inventory to recruit. It's similar to buying a house. Everyone in here would be looking for something a little bit different. You need a product that fits all takers.
Thank you. Arthur Coons.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Arthur Coons. I'm a resident of 9235 Couchville Pike. Hey, my proposition is pretty simple here. This proposal is really about warehouses. The flooding is merely a PR smokescreen. I'd also like to address a prior comment about the signs and speed bumps regarding the traffic on Couchville Pike. None of the signs that currently exist did anything to stop the semi-truck that plowed through my front yard. If someone was there, it would have killed them. I'm really concerned about the traffic, particularly with the danger on that road with semis speeding in excess. The mere presence of these additional warehouses is offensive to our small rural community. And I don't see any of the engineers or developers volunteering to have a big warehouse planted right next to their community. So in closing, I'd encourage you all to vote no and put an end to the warehouses. Thank you.
Stephanie Morrison.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Morrison, also 9235 Couchville Pike, and I'd just like to call out a theme just sitting here listening tonight, that all of those in favor of these warehouses do have a financial interest in the success of these warehouses and this property. And I'm fortunate to be able to work from home, and jokingly we say that I'm kind of like Snow White, because every day I've got wildlife in our yard that comes and helps me to work. It's not every day. On a regular basis, I see deer, groundhogs, and turkeys walking through our front yard. And though we may fix the flooding problem, or may not, depending on who you ask in the room here, we're going to impact the ecosystem and those of us who will be living in this community for years to come, and really impact the integrity of the residential rural community. So, thank you.
Thank you. Corey Richardson.
Thank you, Mayor Hutto and the commissioners. Anybody that has heirloom tomatoes and peaches, I'm down for that commission meeting. I love that. Thank you for your time here tonight. I had a couple remarks, but they've already been stated by everybody that's been up here. So I'm just going to kind of speak to you from where we are. A lot of things have been said tonight. A couple things that I would disagree with vehemently. There's no smoke screen. There is no hidden agenda. There's no behind door number 3. We were asked to do this because it does serve a purpose. I think industrial buildings have served a purpose to Wilson County. Not every development is a good one. I've been a part of some bad ones. This is a good one. We've tried to deliver what we've been asked to do. We have not attempted to kill spotted owls and kill trees and things. The zoning states what we're allowed to do. If C4 isn't it, then tell us what it should be. It's hard to work in a community that sets that goalpost. We tried to hit that goalpost. In no way, shape, or form were we trying to interrupt sleep patterns or anyone's lifestyle. Will it happen? Possibly. Sure could. But the majority of the people who have spoken tonight, some of them have been here since 1971. I applaud you. Some of them have been here since 2016. That would be great. Outside of that, I think ultimately we look at it and we say, what is the best for the community, financially, economically? If the plan were smoke screen, then some people flooding would love to see that smoke screen because it's real. Not everyone will benefit from day one, but this plan benefits the community years to come. If you're not flooding today, you will flood at some point. I can't bring more engineers who have more degrees and talk about sinkholes and then be told that sinkholes are a mirage. They're not a mirage. They're real. We're going to clean them out. We're going to make them better than they are, and they're going to remain operational, period. Water will be retained in detention ponds. It's not to keep the building from flooding. We don't think that's possible at this juncture. We would build it differently. We would build it deeper. This plan has been generated with a lot of time, energy, and effort, not only from our company, but also from the individuals. I ask that you look at it. A lot of the things that you've been presented with tonight have been sent to you as far as community concerns. I address those directly in an effort to honestly tell you where we stood before the comments that came tonight. If you have a moment before you vote, I ask that you look at those because I think it provides a factual effort.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I have nobody else on my list tonight to speak that was not on the list, the sign-in sheet. I have two hands back there. I will allow those two to speak. Come forward.
My name is Teresa Hilton. I live at 405 Burgess Road. And I'm not for this project. No, I'm for family and home and community. And I'd like to talk just a minute about life in our community. Our neighborhood, which I consider to be Lone Oak, Nice Road, Burgess Road, Underwood Road, Fellowship Road. In our neighborhood, there's people there that have known each other a long time. And we know each other's families. And when we drive down the roads, we throw our hands up. And in our neighborhood, we go for walks. We like to walk. We take runs. We ride bikes. And in the evenings, we like to sit outside when it's starting to get dark. And we like to listen to the whippoorwills and not backup beeps. And if the season is right for it, we like to sit outside and the fragrance of honeysuckles are intoxicating and not diesel fumes. And in the mornings, we may take a cup of coffee out and watch the sun come up and listen to the birds wake up and sing all their morning songs. Joe Diffie sang a song called Home. Home is a front porch swing where I would sit and Mama'd sing Amazing Grace while she hung out the clothes. Home is an easy chair with my daddy there and the smell of Sunday supper on the stove. My footsteps carry me away, but in my mind, I'm always going home. So home is all these things and so much more. And now we need your help to help us preserve home. Thank you.
Saw one more hand.
Thank y'all. My name's Mark Sardam, 3404 Underwood Road. Property is right across the street from one of the proposed properties. We're in opposition to the proposed development for multiple reasons: increased noise, litter traffic, unregulated speeding, and reckless driving over the past few years. Due to the previous development in this area has already degraded the quality of life for the homeowners of this area. These items will only continue to increase and destroy the way of life that originally attracted us to that area. As bad as those items are, our main concern is the increased flooding the remaining property owners in the area will experience. You've seen and heard testimony from other property owners and their experience with flooding that has occurred recently on their property. Instead of explaining what has happened with flooding, I want to put numbers to what this development will do to this area. 1 inch of rainfall over 1 acre of land totals over 27,000 gallons of water. For the proposed development of 70 acres, that would be 1,900,780 gallons of water produced from a 1 inch rain event. It's just a 1 inch rain event, almost 2 million gallons of water. That will be held on their property with their detention ponds. That property will be elevated, as every 17 warehouses out there already are. They're above ground level, so they don't flood. So the water that flows south, down Underwood towards Couchville Pike will now be dammed up because all of this property will be built up higher than the existing property. So over that, lost my spot here. Anyway, there's 85 acres, I believe, that will discharge south towards Couchville Pike, and a 1 inch rain event would be 2,300,000 gallons of water that will now have nowhere to go because the developments will dam that property up. That's what's going to happen to the people that remain, that live upstream from this proposed development. So we strongly encourage you to say no to this development. Thank you.
Thank you. That will close public comment period now. I'll take a motion to go back into session. All in favor say aye. Christopher?
An application has been made by First Industrial Realty Trust for permission from property owners Brenda Garvin, Mary Orange, Julie Kirby, Richard Bible, David and Karen Thomas, Darren and Brenda Dixon, Anthony Bible, George Lanham, W.D. Lanham, Gary Whitaker, Matthew Whitaker, African Methodist Episcopal Church, requesting a land use plan amendment from low intensity residential area to medium to high density, medium high intensity commercial uses, and a rezoning of the same properties from R1 residential to C4 planned commercial. The properties are located at 113 Couchville Pike, 3522 Underwood Road, 3600 Underwood Road, 3662 Underwood Road, 3556 Underwood Road, an unaddressed Maddox Road being map 138, parcel 51, 1116 Couchville Pike, and that's the last one. The land use amendment and the rezoning of the property request was presented to the Wilson County Planning Commission on Friday, May 16th, 2025, and is being forwarded to the Wilson County Commission with no recommendation. This was forwarded you to with no recommendation. I have been in conversations with the developers during this process, and it would be my recommendation to you. We've talked out some minimum standards of development that would stick with the site, regardless of the developer, if the commission chooses to approve it. It'd be my recommendation that you make those a part of any motion if it is in favor of, and those are starting with 1,400 feet of Underwood Road to be widened to a 3-lane road section to be approved by the Wilson County Road Commission. Entrances along Underwood Road and Lone Oak Road are for emergency access only. These access points will be gated with a Knox box access. Signs will be posted at the Underwood Road and Couchville intersection stating no truck traffic permitted, or of some similar language accepted by the County Road Commission for signage. Stormwater detention on site will be designed to handle and safely pass the 100-year storm event. That'll be the minimum design requirement for this site. A 20-foot preservation do not disturb buffer will be placed against all adjoining residential zone parcels and along the right-of-way at Underwood Road. And the last one would be Couchville Pike right-of-way to be widened to a 3-lane road section in front of this property to adhere to the turn lanes that are currently on Couchville Pike to the east and west of this site.
Before I go to any commissioner for a motion, I'm going to turn it over to Mary Jennings.
Just wanted to say to you that this one comes to you in a little different posture as it comes to you without a recommendation. So I need for you to know that whatever the motion is made tonight, needs to be specific with the reasons so that I can defend it if it's adopted at whatever level. You can't just send it up and say the people want it or the people don't want it or you know, that type of thing. There's got to be reasons given specifically whether you are approving or disapproving.
Go to Commissioner Hobbs. It's in your district, sir.
First and foremost, there should be nothing ever sent to this body without recommendation. There should be a tie break. You have enough people on that body and on that planning commission, it should never be sent to this body without a recommendation. Because you're putting every commissioner in this room in a bad spot. They want it on that committee, they got appointed on that committee, they have a job to do. Just like I have a job to do tonight.
Yes, sir. I don't have control over that particular aspect. I'm not a voting member for that
We need to
committee.
get a hold of the chairman.
It's an 11-member, some of the reasoning behind that committee, it's an 11-member board. The bylaws of that committee states that it has to be a majority of the total board for a positive or negative recommendation regardless. That day, there were 9 members present and it was a 5-4 vote. And then so there would have been a lack of motion. You either come back to the next planning commission or find one that can be agreed upon.
My eyes is a no vote.
A tie vote in your eyes would be a no vote.
That's why it holds here, ain't it? Mayor?
I don't understand.
I heard him say it was a 5-4 vote.
5-4.
5-4.
It was 5-4, but
6 passing.
But it takes 6 to get any recommendation forwarded to the county commission.
They were recommendation now.
There were 2 votes taken. The first one was 5-4 and the second one was 4-5, I believe. And then there was a third vote taken to pass it with no recommendation, and that one passed unanimously.
So the pleasure of the committee is coming to you, Commissioner Hobbs.
Looks like the committee needs to do some homework. This property here has been before us, I know of, 4 for me, 4 for Commissioner Robson, and I think 2 years for Commissioner Thomas, if I believe so, correct?
When I know the property's attempted to be rezoned 4 times. Is that what you're asking? How many?
Yes, sir.
I believe it's the second time with yours. I believe it was 2 with Ms. Robinson. I can't speak to Mr. Thomas. That was way before my time here.
Well, since I've been in office, it's always been a no recommendation from District 13 to pass this project. One is for the quality of life. Mayor Jennings, or Attorney Jennings, that'll work for us for reasoning.
Say that again for me.
Quality of life. Is that the reason you were looking for?
No, I'm not looking for any reason. I just got to defend it, whatever happens if it goes to court. Quality of life can be that, traffic can be that, flooding can be that, those type of things. But a general feeling among the community cannot be. That's not defendable.
I'm going to go with quality of life on that then. I'll stick with that in court. As far as fellow commissioners, y'all have seen this before. It's been before us numerous times. It's not a bad project. It's a good project. The citizens in my area do not care for this. They have large amounts of flooding. The people that were for this project back here in the back, every one of them's had water running in their front doors. Everyone that came up and spoke, they were speaking from the heart, and they have lived it. But at the end of the day, we get put into the position where we represent the majority of the citizens and the majority of the vote. So I motion to go back in session, and I'm not for this project.
You're making a motion to not recommend the rezoning based on quality of life?
That's correct.
Do I hear a second?
A second.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion now?
Who's second?
Commissioner Tyler Chandler. Any discussion from anybody? Mr. Gentry, your panel should work if you got comment. Push it. You're good?
Mic off. I don't know if it's going or not.
Okay.
Yeah, I've listened to both sides. I've studied this at length. The flooding is critical in this area. It's been there for a number of years. and the county has not done anything about it. This is a private company that's willing to go over and above what they normally would do with $6 million to help with this flooding situation. I have to vote for it. And when somebody said when they sell their land, they don't have any say anymore, well, if they stay where they are, they're going to be flooded out over and over again. They still don't have any say. So I think it's so important. I think we have a responsibility to take care of these people that have been flooded all this time. Either we buy the land or we vote for this project to get this flooding taken care of. And we've asked this company to provide these solutions. They've had engineers, they've had people look at this, water runoff people, and they've come up with a positive plan to solve it. And as Commissioner said, it's a good plan. And as a good plan that takes care of the problems we're looking to take care of, I'm firmly for it, and I think we should all be for it. Thank you.
Mr. Breeze?
Start by saying that I know that we all don't want more warehouses, but this project's focus on flood mitigation protects residents of Gladeville, which I think is what we're being asked to do, protect Gladeville. I spoke with James Vaden, who's the county stormwater director, and that he believes firmly that the developer's commitment to build to a 100-year flood standard will improve water flow on Cashville Pike overall, the entire road and that area, even with the buildings on site. The farthest north corner of the property is 564 feet above sea level. The elevation decreases 30 feet, creating a 5.1% slope. So when it rains, all the water runs downhill from those further up Underwood Road. And that's what floods the neighbors that are closer to Couchville Pike. These families experience significant flooding, as we've seen, on a regular basis, including having water inside their homes. Several have tried to mitigate the flooding, but they can't compete with the volume of water. The families can't get anyone to sell them flood insurance because it's a known issue. The residents can't sell their properties because no one will buy these homes knowing about the significant flooding. So this leaves these folks who are a part of our community in an impossible situation. I don't think they want to leave, but they can't afford to continue to be washed out and lose other possessions over and over again. The proposed development has 5 detention ponds. 2 will be built on top of the existing homes that flood. The water will work through the system of the 5 ponds, preventing it from continuing down Couchville Pike across 840 to the Vesta McCrary Road area that's also known for flooding issues. And this information all came from analysis from James Vaden. I've been asked questions about the sinkholes on the property, of concerns about capping the sinkholes. So I asked about that too, and the proposal is actually to clean out the current sinkholes, line them with permeable filter fabric so the sinkholes can better collect surface runoff. So we're actually cleaning them out, we're not capping them. At least that's what the plan calls for. I also went back and looked at the current land use plan that was passed in 2006, because that's our current land use plan. And on this intersection specifically, so 840 and Couchville Pike was identified as one of the 8 gateways to the county. And it says on page, I think it's page 58 or 59 of the 2006 land use plan, this is a quote. The area along Couchville Pike at SR 840 interchange could serve the county well as a place for commercial services for the traveling public as well as planned office parks. The guidance of the land use plan continues and states a degree of flexibility should be maintained for selective industrial development at this site, with the stipulation that surpass minimum requirements and complement other development. So as much as I don't want to approve more warehouses, this project, I think, fits that definition because they're going above and beyond a requirement of a 25-year flood plan. They're going to 100, and at the end of the day, as much as, again, I don't want more warehouses, it protects the area from flooding. And I grew up in Central Texas. I just got back yesterday. And I think we all know what happened on July 3rd and 4th. They're still looking for bodies. It's terrifying. And I have to say that some of these pictures that I've seen from these families that are dealing with the issues that they're dealing with the flooding remind me a lot of areas in Central Texas that deal with flash floods. So I think that if we have the ability to be able to actually solve that problem, which I think that's what's being handed to us, we really need to take that into serious consideration. And I'm going to vote yes, and hopefully you understand why. So it's not because of warehouses, but because I firmly believe that this helps protect our neighbors. And that's what we're supposed to do here. At least that's what I think we should do.
Commissioner Costley?
Yeah, I'll be real quick. One thing on the safety thing is Superintendent Murphy, got a quick question for him. Can I ask him?
Sure.
They were talking about speed humps on these roads. That's what I thought. We're not allowed to have them anywhere else. Also, didn't know we had barking frogs in Wilson County. That's kind of got me stuck. It's good to know. One other thing I'm curious about, of all the warehouses we have over there, what is the occupancy rate of? Are there any empty over there? Are they all occupied, all working? Do we know that?
I don't know that.
I have no knowledge of that and don't know that I can speak to that this time.
There were a lot of phone calls spoke to that. I didn't know if we had a number. Thank you. That's all I got.
No worries. Commissioner Hall?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just got a couple of questions. I don't know who can answer them, but these are the questions I have. These folks are dealing with flooding, but I looked at the current flood map from FEMA, and none of these properties near this proposed development are in a flood zone. So my question is, how are they? I know you can get flooded without being in a flood zone. I'm not crazy, but how is this happening so often that they're not placed in a flood zone? I know that's a question for FEMA, but I mean, what was the catalyst for causing all these properties to start flooding? I mean, when did it start, I guess?
Christopher, can you answer that question?
The FEMA question, these are not in a flood zone. It would be an isolated community event from my discussions with FEMA, because we talked about putting it in a FEMA regulatory floodplain for the flooding that happened on the other side of 840, which was at the corner of Best and McCreary. All of their floodplains are dedicated off of Blue Line tributaries. There is not one that flows through these properties that are regulated by FEMA. So that's where their flooding markets off of. As far as the isolated events, my discussion with FEMA, we can create local floodplain districts, which some of these properties probably very well would have been in it. There's not any help with FEMA regulation or oversight in that, so we would have to enforce that on ourselves. But they're more than happy to help us write an ordinance or a resolution to have localized floodplain districts. We just have to regulate those on our own accord. The second part of the question, everybody here seems to be consensus of 840. I don't know if that's the trigger or not.
Is that all your questions?
Good.
Yes, sir. Okay. Seeing Commissioner Marlowe.
I think the only thing that comes to my mind concerning this issue is the fact that 840 was built through that area, and then Wilson County took it on themselves to make the property out there a possibility for exactly what's being brought to us tonight. That's the reason we spent a lot of money to build sewer out through there and to change some of the policies and to allow, these type of buildings to be built. And, we all should know that there is going to be more offered for our community in the way of jobs. It's going to offer the county more tax dollars to do things that we really need to do. And,
But the bottom line was, 840 in the area around 840, we knew from a long time ago that this area is going to change, and it is a corridor for industrial, commercial property, and we should take advantage of it.
Anyone else wishing to speak on this property before we vote on it? Seeing nobody, you ready to vote? Remember, the motion on the floor is to deny the rezoning. Has a motion and a second based on quality of life. If you vote yes, then you're denying the rezoning of this property. So a yes means I'm going to deny the rezoning of the property. Please cast your vote. Mr. Gentry?
Won't let me vote. I'm voting no. I vote no.
All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record.
13 yes, 12 no.
Therefore, the rezoning is denied. Anything else, anybody? We're done, right? Thank you, Christopher. We'll move on now. Reading of the report from Minutes Committee, Commissioner Fields.
Conference room, we approved the minutes that were from the last session. I move that they be received and filed.
All in favor say aye. Reading of the minutes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Yes. We can have it. All in favor say aye. I can get this peach down. Let's try it again with, do I hear a motion about the dispense of reading of the minutes? Got a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Communication from the chair, Mr. Rattler Clemens. Wanting to speak to you tonight for just a second or two on the fair coming up.
We deeply thank you for allowing us for the last 46 years to come before you at the last commission meeting before the fair. We would not be existing if it was not for the county commission, for Mayor Hutto, for our sheriff and all of our other county departments and what you do to help us. And we deeply, deeply thank you for that. We are made up of volunteers. We had some 2,671 people that volunteered in last year's fair, giving some 128,861 hours. Some 50 events, 157 livestock shows, 6,000 head of cattle that was there. And so we are still an agricultural fair. We pride ourselves in being Tennessee's largest classroom as we continue to tell the story of agriculture. Our theme this year is going hog wild, Bacon Memories at the Fair, August the 14th through the 23rd. It'll be the year of pork. This will be our 5th year as the Tennessee State Fair, and it has been a great partnership that has worked well to bring more to Wilson County, to bring more dollars that could be invested in the James E. Ward Ag Center and continue to showcase our county. We have been fortunate to have involved all 95 counties in the state of Tennessee, and that was our goal, to showcase each county. As a result of that, we were chosen as the number 4 state fair in the United States to see last year because of how we had been able to involve our entire state in each county. We now rank number 20 of the top 50 fairs. We are fixing to begin a celebration in the United States called America 250. President Trump has made the decision that the state fair in each state will be the one to kick that off in that state and to end it. And so Governor Lee has asked us on August the 14th to be the grand opening of America 250. And he will be speaking at our opening ceremony. We have spent a lot of time in a short period, because we've only known about this for about 3 weeks, to modify our fair in a way that it will showcase Tennessee and Wilson County as well. Our grand opening will be on opening night, Thursday the 14th. We will be opening our Sky Ride, and we hope all of you will be for a ride to see the James E. Ward Ag Center and the Wilson County, Tennessee State Fair. This is a ride for everybody, from the smallest child to the oldest person in our county, and we are very excited about this ride. It has been built, every dollar of it has come from Reithofer shows. We will then have our Pick Tennessee Experience and Specialty Crop Exhibit that the state of Tennessee has done. This will be our 3rd year, and it is a great success, and they are greatly expanding it. We have something new in our Ag Venture Experience and our Ag Venture Barn, and we'll be having a ribbon cutting of it at 5:30. And then our grand opening of the fair, as well as America 250, will be at 6 o'clock in front of the Made in Tennessee building. And then at 7, we'll have our opening parade. We have over 150 livestock shows that occur at our fair. We are very fortunate to have the facilities that we have, and we thank you for helping us make that possible. Motorsports will continue each night in a lot of different forms that you can see there, from truck and tractor pulls to derbies to four-wheeler to monster trucks. New at this year's fair, we've talked about the Sky Ride. We have fair food competition. A lot of people come to the fair to eat. We have over 100 food booths that are there, and we're going to have competition this year where they'll be entering their product in a judging contest, a harmonica contest, a pig calling contest, a lot of things that has to do with pork there that you'll see on that page as well. We talked a little bit a minute ago about Pick Tennessee. They already have 122 Tennessee producers that are going to be selling their products in that store. And I think their goal is 150. They've expanded it also outside the building, that you'll see a new experience there as well. Through the years, people have asked us what has made the Wilson County Fair different. One of those factors is Fiddler's Grove, that continues to showcase the history of our county, and we have the artists, and over 30 of them that we'll be demonstrating, and it is a great part of our fair and continues to grow. Entertainment, stages and stages of musical entertainment each night, but our big featured entertainment will be on Sunday night, August the 17th at 6 p.m. with Pitch Meeting, the world's best opening act with Oliver Steele and Friends. And then on Monday night, it will be Jamie O'Neill and Ty Hurton, and that is all presented by Bates Ford. We thank you so much for all that you do for us, and we hope you'll be with us during this exciting time.
Thank you, Mr. Clemens. This time we have notaries in front of you. I hear a motion to approve those. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Next on the agenda is the election of the road commissioner for Zone 4. The following individuals, Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Franklin, Commissioner Gentry, Commissioner Hobbs, Commissioner Jones, and Commissioner Weathers are eligible for this position. Do I hear a motion on the floor for nomination? Commissioner Weathers?
I'll make a motion to nominate Robert Franklin.
Got a motion for that. Do I hear any other nominations?
Nomination cease.
I hear a second on nomination seeking. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And Commissioner Franklin, congratulations. Board of Zoning Appeals, we have one member here that we'd like to appoint for a 5-year term, Mr. Howard Blades. Information was sent to you in their packet about Mr. Blades. Do I hear a motion concern?
Move to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Audit Committee, 5 members for a survey 1-year term here. Commissioners William Glover, Commissioners Rusty Keith, Commissioner Danny Clark, Mr. John Lancaster, and Ms. Lisa McIntosh. Do I hear a motion for that?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Sports Authority, Mr. R.D. Denny had asked that he would be able to step away from this board. We'll just give you a brief audit. Just had an audit meeting just last week with the Sports Authority. You got 5 years left on the bonds for the Speedway, and that will be done. But that's their primary goal and primary objective of what they do. There'll be other things in the future, but Mr. Denny had asked to step away. Mr. Hayden White would be who we'd recommend to you. Do I hear a motion? Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Emergency Communication Board 911, there was a recent passing of Mr. Jordan Beasley. We took that a month or two for that one to pass, and then would like to make an appointment of Mr. Johnny Webb to serve in that one. You've had information there. He will serve the unexpired term until May of 2027. What's your thoughts on that? Discussion? Anybody? All in favor say aye. Aye. Report from the Emergency Management Committee, Commissioner Bernard.
No report.
Director Cooper for the Director's Report.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
County Commission, I apologize right off the bat. I had a 30-minute spiel I wanted to talk to you about, but I'm going to cut that down very narrow due to the length of time. You already been here, okay? All right, So we started our hiring process. We started our orientation next week. So within 30 days, we'll probably have all of our full-time slots full, and we're adding about 8 more people on our part-time list. So we're pretty good there. Some of our new ambulances and engines will be in. I think we've got everything bought for them. So when they get here, they'll be ready to put on the road. And that's pretty much it for now. So that concludes my report.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you, Director Cooper. Report from the Law Enforcement Committee, Commissioner Kurtz.
No report.
Sheriff Bryan, Sheriff's Report.
All in favor? Your report's in your packet, pretty much a typical report. All numbers on par. Busy this time of year doing a lot of training throughout the summer while the school's out. School's fixing to start next week. Mr. Callis and the Kiwanis, anytime you get prayers for schools and their students and their staff, they're needed, and we really appreciate what they do for our schools. That concludes my report. Y'all look really tired. Probably I do too, but unless there's any questions.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Thank you, Sheriff. Report from Education Committee, Commissioner Marlowe. And Director of Schools Report, Mr. Jeff Luttrell.
Thank you, Mayor. You do have my report in front of you. Did include the class for 25 accomplishments, all said and done. Take note of scholarships that were offered to 800 seniors with over $62 million. So now that's what was offered, but that says a testament to what we're able to do and what our teachers are doing and our administrators. As you've heard tonight, we will be back in session August 1, first day for students. Teachers come back on the 28th, I think, for some training. So be mindful and of that. Appreciate the day of prayer. I would ask you to extend that to every day as you think about what we do on a daily basis. There is, again, our We Love Our Teachers campaign. Reach out to Chamber of Commerce if you want to participate. I know they have some free posters that's available if you want to stop by there and pick it up. A lot going on this summer in maintenance. Those projects are quickly wrapping up. I'm sure the West Elementary, if you've been by there, yes, it will be ready for school. We're being reassured. And I do think that will help tremendously during that rush hour or school hour of drop-off on that roadway. Of course, you've heard a lot in the news. We've been in the news with the Legardo Elementary. Yes, we're going to open August 1. It's our plan. It is going to come down to the last few hours. But I do want to thank our contractor. If you take away weather days, he's bringing that thing under what it's supposed to be in. And they're working basically around the clock. I know there's been a lot of comments, not going to be open. I believe it's going to be open. We've got scheduled next week for our furniture to be delivered, set up. We'll be ready to go. Will not be time for community open house. We will do that once we get into school and get established. Now, as far as concerning the sewer, there is an issue. We have been working with TDEC and wastewater. And with the direction of TDEC, what they directed us to do was to file for a pump and haul permit. We were rushed to get that done. All agencies have worked together to make that happen, including Waste, Wheels, and Water. That hearing will be the 30th. They've already given us a draft permit, and I'm in constant contact with TDEC. Is there anything else you need that we need to answer to ensure that happens? As for the other portion of that, there is a ongoing issues between TDEC and wastewater concerning a permit, operating permit. And I have been in contact with both entities and do feel assured, as of late this morning I had a conversation, and then this afternoon another one, that there's ongoing meetings to come up with a solution as quickly as possible for a permanent solution. And that is where we're at. Our plan, part of our plan was approved. It was a two-step process. Our plan was approved. That work has been done, or will be completed just in a few days, and our soils are good. We have plenty of soils that have been approved to handle our drip line and our sewer. So I'm open to any questions.
Commissioner Dow?
Yes, you said you're going to pump deal. You're going to do that. Who's paying for that?
That will be at operations of the school. It'll be just like your sewer. And the proximate.
But have we already paid, I guess, the tap fee or whatever?
We have not. That is waived for that permit that's been waived, and our board rejected a contract. We will work on the permanent contract, and that will be all part of that negotiation.
So what's the price for that pump?
Depends upon, it will be pumped after hours. There's been a lot of things said. It will be pumped after hours. I want to thank Mayor Bell and Lebanon. They've agreed to take that during that period of time, and they've been wonderful to make that happen. It will be pumped after hours, and all the waste will be pumped daily. Now, we don't know yet. It's hard to estimate. It's been approved. We think it'll be less than 15,000. That school is built for 1,000, but we're looking at 500 students or 600 to open. So we will not know. An estimate, I have asked for that, and we would estimate somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000, maybe $60,000 a month. I can't give you a complete on that. But that's where these other entities are working, and they have assured me that there's ongoing meetings to come to the quickest possible solution, and that is as of today. I was told that they're both committed to getting in a room and coming up with a solution for the path forward that will eliminate, or as quick as possible, eliminate that charge.
Mr. Glover?
Can you also send out to the commission any updates that you have concerning this? I've been getting so many calls, and I've been trying to wait until the meeting tonight, but it would kind of help as far as kind of go through the responses that we can give them if you can send it out when you know.
I will give you what I can, but this is such a fluid situation. I am keeping my board updated as quick as possible. If you have any questions, feel free. If you want to come sit down, I can show you where we're at and where we're going to go forward. But I believe it will be a permanent solution. I don't have a time frame. I'm not going to sit up here. That's between them, and that's between engineers and experts on these design plans. But I do think they're working toward that. But again, if you got a question, reach out to me, and I'll give you the best information I have at the time.
Commissioner Breeze?
So I saw that the federal government's released $1.3 billion of the frozen education funds.
Yeah, I believe I said that's what would happen, if you remember.
It is. I was just curious, did that release any of the funds that we had held? And if
not got into that yet. I met today a little bit with the finance director. We got that email late Friday night that But I can tell you the Title I money, it looks like that's going to be released. That was Part C that was only supposed to have been frozen from the executive order or the order. And so we're working through that, but that was big news Friday night that money was going to be released.
I was excited too. Thanks.
Commissioner Gentry?
Is the STEP system the final solution for that school sewage?
It would be, yes.
Okay.
We have 3 other schools on that type of system now. It is.
Any other questions, comments?
Motion to approve.
All in favor, say aye. Thank you, sir. Register of Deeds report from Ms. Murphy is in your packet. Do I hear a motion to approve it? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Trustees report is also in your packet. Do I hear a motion to approve it? Second. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Road Superintendent report, Mr. Steve Murphy.
Mayor, Commissioners, to this day, we've paved 7.9 miles. We ain't got much done this year. This weather has put a damper on us, but we're working. We're trying to pave. Our mowers are running, doing our patchwork, and our general maintenance. And I was going to say, Mr. Costler, we don't have speed bumps or speed humps. We like smooth roads.
I thought I knew that.
But that concludes my report.
Any discussion for Mr. Murphy? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Ag Center report, Mr. Major. Sir? Ag Center report.
I'll make mine quick too. So, but we've just finished up a really busy quarter out at the Ag Center. We've had a lot of busy events going on. I'm sure, as you know, if any of you have driven by. But I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank my team out there. They've all worked really hard. Had a lot of early mornings, a lot of late nights, a lot of weekend hours. But I appreciate everything that they do. And of course, everybody knows we'll be moving on. This weekend we have the chick chain, which there'll be 55 sets of chickens that 4-H'ers across the county have that'll be for sale. If anybody's in the market for any chickens, they can come out and buy some this weekend. The fair, I'm not going to touch on that anymore. I think Randall did a great job with that, other than we are going to have 7 new Century Farms that will be taking place, and I'd like to say congratulations to you, Mr. McFarland, on that.
Thank you.
That's a tremendous honor. And then from after the fair gets over with, that's the busiest time for us as far as a team at the Ag Center, is trying to get everything flipped over from the fair and get set up for the State Horse Show, getting the 5 barns set up in that short a period of time. But we always look forward to that challenge, and that will conclude my report unless anyone has any questions.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Expo Center report, Ms. Gale or Mr. Zindel? See them both here tonight.
I too will be very brief. It's been a long night. Okay, so you guys, we put copies on your desk for you. I also emailed you the copy of the report. And probably the most pointed question is showing a negative balance for the month of $30,000. And that's pretty much attributed to the fact that we had a major contract that I did not negotiate, and that would have given us that money. But it would have been really nice. But the good news is that I think we're on track for what's coming in to catch up with that. Like I've told you before, it's law of averages. Eventually it catches up one way or the other. So that is the answer, unless you have a question on that particular point. And then our expenses were up. We had 2 billings from Middle Tennessee Electric in 1 month. So that threw us over the edge. Yeah. So it should make next month look really good, I hope. But we did have that. We had 2 months of that and 2 months of another billing. So the combination of a contract that was lesser than what it should have been and the 2 billings of the electric is what threw us into 30,000 in the negative. So you've got a recap for the year behind the monthly report. I've also given you a list of the traffic report. We had a very robust month as far as traffic going in and out of the expo. And then I gave you a list of the upcoming events. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Mr. Denton?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. How come you weren't allowed to negotiate?
It really wasn't a matter of me not being allowed. It was an agreement that was made prior to the event coming to me. So it was one of those things, a professional decision was made to sort of just go with the flow. And that the difference was about $30,000. So to that point, though, I will say that was the BMW event. It was a great event. And I talked to them and I told them they were very aware of the fact that this was going to cost me money. And I said, okay, so what I want from you is I want you to bring me to your event that particular year. I want to be able to promote this event so that we can create a greater awareness of the expo in addition to the ag grounds, because they took up most of the grounds. And they did. They took me out there, they took care of me, and I was able to promote it, and it was a great PR effort for us. And to that point, they have tentative dates on the calendar to come back, which is a really good thing, and they know the numbers will be different next time. So, again, it was a professional thing that I felt like the right thing to do was to roll with it rather than fight it.
Very huge event, I know that. I saw.
What's that?
Huge event. I saw it.
It was a huge event. There were 6,500 people there. Yeah.
Any other questions? Your motion to approve the report? Second. All right. All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. Report from Public Buildings Committee, Commissioner Weathers. Ag Center Management, Commissioner Scruggs.
No report.
Animal Control, Commissioner Breeze.
No report.
Audit, Commissioner Glover.
No report.
Broadband, Commissioner Franklin.
No report.
Development Tourism, Commissioner Brown.
No report.
Ethics, Commissioner Dow.
No report.
Finance, Commissioner Costley.
No report.
Health and Recreation, Commissioner Smith.
No report.
Insurance, Commissioner McFarland.
No report.
Judicial, Commissioner Gentry.
No report.
Legislative Ad Hoc, Commissioner Costley.
No report.
Plan and Zoning, Mr. McFarland.
No report.
Rules, Commissioner Keith.
No report.
Urban Type Facility Board, Commissioner Scruggs.
They received and filed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Finance report, Mr. Maynard.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say no report. If I was allowed, I would say it. So really don't have a lot to talk about, just 21 days into the new fiscal year. But I am here for any questions if you guys have anything that you want to ask me about.
Any question, Mr. Maynard? All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you, sir. Report from the Budget Committee, Commissioner Marlowe.
Budget Committee met June 16th and July 15th. Minutes are in your packet. Move they be received and filed.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Need a motion to go out of session for this budget amendment.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Commissioner Marlowe.
Resolution 25-7-6 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from Fund 124 to Expo Center.
Got a motion? Do I hear a second? Any discussion? Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Yes. Please record. 25-0, resolution passed. I hear a motion to go back into session. Second.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Old business to come before the body?
I have something, Mayor. I just need to let everybody know that the lawsuit over the 80,000 square foot requirement amendment to the zoning ordinance that we did a couple of years ago comes to trial next Monday. It's set for 2 days. I have a motion to dismiss pending. Both sides have summary judgment motions. I don't anticipate any proof being taken
the facts are pretty much what they are, and I think the court will decide it on that. If you call me the next day or two and I don't get right back to you, you'll know I'm working on that. And it comes up Monday. So that's, if you have questions, send me an email or whatever, and I'll do my best to, I will respond to you.
Any other old business before we go to new business? Smartest man in the room today was Commissioner Haskell Evans, because he had a box of tomatoes that he wanted to give y'all, and he didn't leave them in the lobby for anybody to throw. So they're under the back table back there. Help yourself to those. And any other new business before I ask for one more motion? We are adjourned.